Hey guys, I got a little bit of a studio update for you. So as you can see here, we've got a lot of realms of battle that are getting worked on. So I haven't started on the snowboard. That's the ones that you see leaning up over there, and then they're also leaning up over there. That's just because of space concerns, which, by the way, I got approval from my landlord that we are going to be expanding the studio. So next month, that wall is going to get knocked down, and we are going to over double our space to be able to work on stuff in here. So that's really awesome. So let's take a look at these boards that I have been working on. So these realms of battle, the three themes of them are a jungle board, a forest board, and a snowboard. This particular one I've been working on is the forest board. I decided to go for a deep dark forest, so the ground is it's much darker, as if maybe like large trees are keeping the sunlight from coming down. So what I've gone in first and done, let's take a look at this one over here. I went in and put like this deep brown, it's like an espresso brown spray down, which is a type of primer that I found. I finally fixed the basing problem that I was having. I was trying to seal it in with scenic cement like I would normally do with any other terrain piece, but for some reason the plastic, the injection mold plastic that the Realms of Battle are made of, all it wants to do is to make the basing come up when you try and put that down. So any sort of stuff like that. The other thing is I figured out that it was putting too much flock, or too much, well not flock, too much sand on the boards. And this was me in deep conversation with Mike over at Terrainscapes. Go check out his channel if you don't know him. He's really awesome. But we went back and forth trying to figure out what this was, and essentially what it was is that the basing sticks better to the board when there's not a lot of it on there, and then that way it causes it's less likely that it will like grab to each other, and instead of like sticking to the surface, stick to each other and then just pull right off, which is what it was doing before. But I fixed that, and what I also found is instead of doing a top seal on top of it for these particular boards, heavy amounts of primer, and it'll just let those soak in and let the paint help bond it in to the surface area a lot better. And it's also going to get a dull coat on the surface to protect the paint job. So what I did is I did do the espresso brown, and then I put a bittersweet chocolate spray over top of that to kind of mix in with the espresso brown. You can also see like little areas where, we'll just kind of do a close-up here. Might be a bit difficult to see in this lighting, but let's see if we can get a good... Here we go. Over here I've also done I've done a dry brush of what's called Mississippi mud. It's sort of this pale, sort of chocolatey looking, like pale chocolate Mississippi mud. Kind of like that. I've done a dry brush of that, and then I use a dry brush of pale sand, or bleach sand in this case, on top of that in some key areas. I haven't dry brushed all of them yet. I did dry brush a couple to see how it turned out, and it turned out really nice. I think it was this one right here is the one that I did dry brush, and yeah, you can see it. So then what I did is I took the airbrush, and I went in and I sprayed in a bunch of slate gray, which is my base gray. I'm actually going to be working up some new mixtures of paint here soon to try and kind of get a darker gray, so I don't have to do this step. I've gone in and done a black wash on everywhere, and these edges where you see the wash suddenly ending, that's not going to be a problem because that won't show up, because when I apply the actual grass flock, that'll get blended in really well. So, and I've also gone in and kind of brushed it out a little bit. It's still going to require a little blending work to get it to go in there, but I really wanted to get this this hill line a little darker than what it was, and to get some of the crevices popping. We'll see how that turns out. This particular board is kind of a test for that one, so if that doesn't turn out terribly well, then when I go to the jungle board, which is all of these much deeper, brighter browns, then I may not do that. I do know that when we get to this board, these are going to be filled with a lot of green tinting in them to give them sort of an overgrown, mossy feel to them. But overall, sets are just about done. The snowboard is still going to take a bit of work. That one will probably take me the longest because anytime you're messing with snowflock, you have to make sure that you're doing it right. Because snowflock is very easy to look wrong if you don't do it right. I've also found a new brand of, or not a new brand, but a new package of trees that we're going to be adding to this. So that's going to make my life a little easier. So anyway, just a short little update, guys. The idea I've got with these is that they're going to be much brighter in their colors. So if the black washing does not work out too well on these, then I will probably forego that on the next board. I think this one's going to turn out pretty decently though, because it's got a nice flow through it all, and it has visually darkened it quite a bit. Anyway, take care, guys, and I'll get you another update over the weekend.